If you start to use this form of self-talk and self-concept, you will quite literally start receiving and attracting everything that you want. This really just opens up the floodgates for receiving in a way that you probably haven't ever experienced before. And I have to tell you that once you understand how to use this, it's really pretty magical. In this video, I'm going to show you how to transform your entire reality from the inside out. So if you are ready to manifest on a new level like never before, go ahead and hit that little thumbs up button below. It really lets me know how many of you are watching and trying this out, and my whole goal of this channel is your success. So I love being able to see how many of you are here and trying this out. And really quickly, before we get into this video, if you're new here, let me quickly introduce myself. I'm Mary Kate, and I'm a mindset coach and manifesting expert focused on getting you transformational results. My whole channel is all about manifesting the law of attraction with meditations and more, where I share the tools you need to get the results you want. I post brand new videos every single Wednesday, so be sure to subscribe and also hit that bell notification so you can get notified whenever I post a new video. Now let's get right into how this works and what you're going to do to access this optimum level of receiving. Like I said, transformation from the inside out. I have been coaching and teaching manifestation and the law of attraction for years and years and years now. And what I find more often than not is that so many people have this false idea that manifestation and the law of attraction is this very external thing, where if you follow enough techniques, or if you buy enough crystals, or if you ask the universe enough times, or do enough, that something can maybe magically show up and manifest. And to be honest, this was something I kind of even used to believe decades ago when I first started studying all of this. And to be honest, everything felt very esoteric and mystical, which in turn made it feel complicated and confusing and not something that was either predictable or repeatable, and it was frustrating. But the truth is that manifestation is very, very internal, and the real results actually come from your self-talk and your self-concept. So what does that even mean? Self-talk, self-concept, these are probably words you've heard before. But self-talk is basically that voice in your head that's going all day long, running through all of your thoughts, interpreting and judging the world around you, thinking, deciding, taking action. That's all of your self-talk. It's going and going and going and going and going all day long. And your self-concept are actually the beliefs that you hold about yourself. It's who you think and believe you are. It's part of your identity. But what is so unbelievably fascinating and interesting is that there is actually a direct correlation between your self-talk and your self-concept. Your self-talk forms your self-concept, and in turn, your self-concept reinforces your self-talk. You're probably so sick of these words already, but it becomes sort of a cycle that goes back and forth over and over and over again. They feed into each other. The concept that you hold of yourself has actually been formed by things that you were taught, things that you were told, things that you experienced over your life. But the funny part is that none of it is actually true. It was your interpretation of it. You weren't born an athlete. You maybe started a sport when you were younger and people told you that you were good at it, or you enjoyed it, so you kept practicing and getting better, which in turn created self-talk that you are an athlete, which informed your self-concept of being an athlete. Does that make sense? Do you see how most of your identity was formed through repeated thoughts and things that you were told and things that you experienced? You can basically think of your self-concept like your identity, just to make it simple. And your self-talk is how you interpret the world based on that identity. It's sort of like this lens. You can really only see from your perspective. I could go on and on and on and on about this, but I want to get into how to get the results because I know that's what you're here for. So for the sake of time, let me quickly tell you what you should be doing to shift this self-talk and this self-concept on an internal level so that you can receive what you want in an almost automatic type of way. So now that you sort of understand this cycle between how self-talk and self-concept really just kind of continue to influence each other, I want you to look at any areas of your life that you're struggling with, the things that you maybe don't like right now, or the things that feel like they aren't working, or even the areas that you feel like you really are struggling to manifest. Like if something just isn't manifesting for you, write that down. And after you have this on paper, what I want you to do is disrupt it, to break up the self-concept and self-talk cycle and change it. Change the story to change your life. And I actually suggest writing it all out on paper. Getting it all out, it actually feels really good. The things that you're struggling with, or the things that you don't like, the things that feel heavy, or like I said, the areas where you just can't manifest certain things. That way, you can see what specifically needs to be shifted. So often in manifestation, you are taught to only focus on the positive or only think happy thoughts. But acknowledging what isn't working gives you exact evidence of what you actually need to change. Otherwise, you're going to keep repeating the same patterns. And once you have all of these things out on paper, I want you to start to look at the self-talk that's creating that. So let's say you wrote down money as one of these things that you struggle with, or an area of your life that you aren't where you want to be yet. Let's say it's all around money. And if you really look at your self-talk, I bet you find yourself saying things like, I can't afford, or I don't have that kind of money, or it must be nice to have that money, or yeah, because she's rich, or when I have enough money, then I will do X, Y, or Z. Or maybe we're even saying things like, that's too expensive. But you are the only person who is going to be able to identify your self-talk. But I want you to notice if you find yourself saying any of these things in your head or anything kind of similar. Because the truth is, if you keep talking to yourself like this and using this type of self-talk, really what you want to manifest just isn't going to happen. Or if it does, it's going to be really, really hard. And this is really where most people give up when it comes to manifesting. It makes me want to scream it from the rooftops because so many people are creating this perpetual cycle that only you can break, but it actually requires you to notice that you're doing it and become aware of it so that you can change it. Stop operating from a lack mentality and thinking that something will magically manifest. It's like trying to run up a hill while wearing skis. I mean, it's probably not impossible, but it's definitely not as easy as just taking those skis off so that you can run freely. So I want you to instead notice when these old beliefs, these old ways of thinking start popping up, and I want you to intentionally ask yourself, is this actually true? Because it's not. And then I want you to observe what self-concept, what identity did you hold that actually formed these thoughts? What identity are you holding on to that's creating these thoughts? What do you believe about yourself that actually supports these thoughts that you're having? I mean, what caused you to believe that you can't afford something, or that you don't have that type of money, or that things are too expensive, or that only certain people get things because they're lucky or they're rich? And if you notice, it's just based on a self-concept that you hold based on past circumstances. But the past doesn't dictate the future. You can change your mind at any time. You can change your identity as someone who gets to have these things that you want. You really can. And some of you might be sitting there saying, well, how do I identify with having a life that I've never actually experienced? So I actually have 3 great ways that I want to share with you on how to start doing this. And it actually works, as always, my favorite thing to teach, by accessing your subconscious mind directly. So by following and listening, it will begin to happen automatically and you won't really have to worry about if you're doing it right. The first tool is actually this self-concept meditation. I'm going to link it up here and down below. This is truly amazing at beginning to create new neural pathways that affirm you being the person who has the things that you want. There are so many affirmations and repetitions in there that your mind will really get on board fast. And this is a great one to use if you're looking to change what you attract in sort of all aspects of your life, because this has a major trickle-down effect and basically transforming you from the inside out. It's changing your self-concept and identity to support you having the things that you want. So again, that tool is going to be linked down below, the self-concept meditation. And this second tool is great if you are looking for something money specific. I'm going to go ahead and link the Money Magnet Reprogrammer up here and I'll link it down below. But this Money Magnet Reprogrammer has been so transformational, and so many people have had experiences of manifesting money within minutes of listening to this. I mean, just read through the comments on that one because it's that powerful. So do yourself a favor and try it out for yourself and see kind of what comes up for you, and comment below and report back because I love hearing the results from that one. So again, that one's going to be linked down below, and that's a money specific one that's going to shift your identity around money. And the last tool I want to share with you is actually choosing an affirmation that really grounds you and supports you in having what you want. And you're going to repeat it again and again and again as often as you need. And you really have to connect with it. This isn't just about the words that you're saying. It's about the actual feeling and connection and subconscious associations that these words are creating. Does that make sense? So make sure that whatever you are saying, you are resonating and connecting with. You don't get a gold star for just following the motions without connecting. I want you to feel it so much and so often until you believe it. That's where the results are. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to hit that bell notification so you can get notified whenever I post a new video. You can also find me over on Instagram and TikTok and Threads at MK Magic Mindset, and if you want to learn more about me, my programs, how to work with me, and more, you can visit my website at mkmagicmindset.com, and I will see you in the next one.